This is lesson 24, graphing using the X and Y intercepts. Our warm-up, we just want to substitute in our values, our input values into our equation, and I've done the first one for you. We can see that when we input a -2 in for x, we say -2 times -2 makes -4, minus 5 makes -9, and we can do -1. 2 times -1 minus 5, that's -2 minus 5, which equals -7, so we're at -1, -7, right there. 2 times 0 minus 5 equals 0 minus 5, which is -5, so 0, -5. And after we do 3, we ought to be able to see a pattern. From -9 to -7, we're going up 2. And from what we learned last unit, we'd say that's our common difference is 2. Alright, our common difference. So -5 plus 2 would be -3. That's 1, -3. 2, -1, 2, -1, 3, 1, 4 would be 3, just following that pattern. And now what we've done is we can make a graph. Pretend I draw through all the points, but we can graph that line. And you guys just graphed a line. Today we're going over 4.3 quick graphs using intercepts. So this is lesson 24. Lesson 24, quick graphs using the intercepts. Labeling points. The main thing that I want us to notice is that as we label our points, this first point A is 0. Sorry, A is -8, 0. B is -4, 0. C, -1, 0. D, 3, 0. E, 7, 0. F, 9, 0. And we can answer this question: what are the y values of all the points that are on the x-axis? So what are the y values of all these points? And so we should be able to answer that. Well, my y values all along the x-axis are 0. And remember that. Our y values all along the x-axis are 0. Because we're on the x-axis, we haven't gone up and down at all. So just as we move along the x-axis, our y values are always 0. Now let's look at those red points. G is 0, -9. H, 0, -6. I, 0, -3. J, 0, 2. K, 0, 5. And L, 0, 10. And so we can answer the next question: what are the x values of all the points that are on the what are the x values of all the points that are on the y-axis? All these red points, the x values are 0. When we're on the y-axis, our x values are 0. So we have along the x-axis, when we're moving left to right along this axis, all our y values are 0, and all along the y-axis, the axis that moves up and down, all our x values are 0. So if we can remember that, we can do today's lesson. So I'm making a quick graph using the X and Y intercepts. So if I wanted to graph this where it says given that the x-intercept is -2, that just means the graph is going to cross the x-axis at -2. That's the point -2, 0. And the y-intercept is 3. Y-intercept is 3. That's the point 0, 3. And so now we can continue this on and say, well, from one point to the next point, I'm going up 3 over 2, 1, 2, 3 over 2, 1, 2, 3 over 2, down 3 over 2, down 3, left 2, down 3, left 2, and we can make a graph. So we just made a graph by just substituting in our x-intercept and our y-intercept, and then continuing that pattern, whatever pattern it made, to make our line. So if you guys tried this one, our x-intercept would be at -4, our y-intercept is at 6, and this is enough that we can just draw a line. And if we wanted to, we could say, okay, well, to get from one to the other, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 4, 1, 3, 4. And so I should have gone through, gone through that line. But the idea is there. My x-intercept is -4. That's the point -4, 0. And my y-intercept is 0, 6. Using a graph to find the x and y-intercept, so we can look at this and say, well, what's my x-intercept? My x-intercept is 3. What's my y-intercept? -4. So this is the point 3, 0. And this is the point 0, -4. 3, 0. And 0, -4. So you guys try doing this one. And we can see here that our x-intercept is at -5. And our y-intercept is at -4. So this is the point -5, 0. -5, 0. And our y-intercept is 0, -4. 0, -4. So now the practical application to it. You're given an equation, 2x plus 3y equals 12. And if we remember, all along this x-axis, what was our value of y? Our value of y was 0. This is some x, and we know y is 0 all along this axis. So to solve for our x-intercept, we can say we're going to write x int for x-intercept. And we're going to say 2x plus 3, but instead of putting in a y, I'm going to make that a 0 because I know on my x-axis my y value is 0. So what does that do to that problem? Well, it just eliminates that y portion of it because anything times 0 goes away. So really what we have is 2x equals 12. And now we can solve this for x fairly easily. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and we just found our x-intercept being at 6. So let me erase this line, this squiggly. And so what we just found was our x-intercept is at 6. So now we're going to do the same thing, but now we're trying to find our y-intercept. And so all along our y-axis, what's our value of x? Well, this is 0, for our x and whatever our y value is, because our x value is 0 all along this axis. We did this at the beginning. 0, 3, 0, 5, 0, 8, 0, -6. Wherever we wanted, our x value is 0. So what are we going to do? We're going to rewrite this equation, but instead of writing an x, we're going to put in a 0. So plus 3y equals 12. What's that do? That gets rid of this term, because anything times 0 is 0. And we're left with 3y equals 12. So what would we do next? Divide by 3, and we have our y-intercept is at 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we can erase this and put a point at 4. And that's our y-intercept. So what are we doing? We're going down 4 and over 6. So if we went up 4 and left 6, you know, we're going to be right there. I usually need a couple points more. And we just draw our line through here and draw our line. And this is the graph of our line. This is the graph of this equation, 2x plus 3y equals 12, using the x and y intercepts. Remember the whole idea. The x-intercept, we substitute in a 0 for y. The y-intercept is 0 for x. So you guys try this one, finding the x and y intercepts. And so we can say our x-intercept is going to be 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 24. And eventually I'm just not even going to write this, okay, because it goes away every time. So our x-intercept, all we care about is our x part of it. Divide by 3, and we say our x-intercept is 8. Put a point at 8. Our y-intercept, 3 times 0 plus 4y equals 24. That becomes 0, so we've got 4y equals 24. Divide by 4, and we get y equals 6. And we draw our line. Let me undo that. Draw our line. Pretend I draw straight lines, but you get the idea. Straight line going from 6 to 8. Our homework is lesson 24.